Okay, I made a response video to this comment and I'm not really pleased with how that came out. I kind of got heated in the middle of it, so let me try and see if I can actually give a much more level-headed response to what this individual said. In my video where I said you don't need a $1,000 PC to beat the PlayStation 5, it's a flat out lie. I think I've gotten a little bit of pushback. Some people have said something about buying a monitor. Some people have said a few things, but that video is kind of very hard to argue against because now I have in that build a CPU that's more powerful than the PlayStation 5 and, well, I would say specifically I know it's more powerful than the Series X's CPU and a GPU that's more powerful than the PlayStation 5's comparative GPU. So in seeing that the build already has components in terms of CPU and GPU that's much more powerful, the conversation is over, but there's always going to be the nitpicking, the goalpost shifting, and that's what I want to address in this video today. Against your, recommendations, some of you who are OGs of this channel about talking about people's comments, I feel in this case it's a little necessary because these misconceptions continue to rear their head over time. So let's go ahead and do the comparisons again. I bought my PlayStation 5 for $500, bought it in 2020, drove to another state to go buy it. I'm not going to add the gas money. Let's call it good. My buddy drove. I bought him an extra controller that day. I'm not going to put that in the cost because, it was a favor that he did for me. We drove to another state and back. So I thought that was appropriate to do. So that's a very expensive cost. But if we wanted to actually throw it in there, well, it's my cost to bear. I'm not going to put it on you. PlayStation Plus for the past 4 years, those of you who've been paying for it, how much have you paid? Can you go gather your receipts? Let's see what you've been paying. Let's see what your PlayStation Plus Premium or Essential subscription is getting you. I'm going with the base PlayStation Plus, never subscribe for Premium, so I go with about 180 since I got myself a PS5. And then with the premium cost of games, this is one that is heavily contested. I made this claim where I said, if you actually go and look at a game at launch on PC versus console, there's a $10 delta. And I said $10 because I wanted to kind of average it. However, if we look at a game like Tekken 8, Deluxe Edition on CD keys, $74.69, came out a few months ago. Same Deluxe Edition on PlayStation, $99. In fact, if we compare every edition, we're going to see a delta of about $15 to even $20. If we even go back and say, why don't we look at Dragon's Dogma 2 and look at the PC version versus even the console version, the PlayStation version specifically in this case, we're also going to be seeing a delta of about $15 to $20. I just ran the numbers. Look at this. The Deluxe Edition and the Standard Edition for Dragon's Dogma 2 on CD keys is the same price. When you go to Dragon's Dogma for the Deluxe Edition here on console, it's $70. So I said $70. This is the Standard Edition. I'm sorry. The Deluxe Edition is $80. So $80 versus $61, we have a $21 delta. So when I said $10, and if you buy 4 of these games every year, you will be at $40, and after 4 years, you'll be at $160. I was being nice to y'all. If I went in and calculated the true cost, you would not like this number. Many of you will quit console gaming immediately, but I said, let me be nice. So I took that number, about $840, and I said, I'm going to build something underneath that that's going to perform better than the PlayStation 5 and Series X. And we did. Ryzen 5 5500, $99. I even paid $89 for mine. And the GPU I used on AMD's Radeon 6750 XT, which is better than the 6600 non-XT comparison that's in the PS5, as well the CPU better than the Xbox Series X. So we already basically got the work done. However, I saw a comment, and I know against your recommendations, this comment said that my, comparison was some serious BS. They pointed out that a TV is not something that I haven't factored in because you have to buy a monitor for your gaming PC. Well, I say that is a bunch of hokey nonsense. Why? When I built my first PC, I used the TV for about a year before I went and bought myself my first monitor. In fact, I have pictures and I actually have, I think video of me basically using that particular setup to start a whole YouTube channel. It's called a Gamer Dad channel, started in 2016. And that's what I used for the longest time. In fact, I still have that TV. I actually put it in its original box just the other day because that TV is of sentimental value to me. I literally cannot do away with that TV because that TV got me started on YouTube. So I still have the evidence. I have the receipts for all of this. It's always been a viable option. I don't know what these people are talking about, but this may be a kind of gamer that believes that somehow you have to spend all this money in order for you to be able to enjoy the games that you're playing when you actually don't. Nintendo Switch owners, they prove me correct because they'll play a game at 20 FPS if it's a good game. They don't care about the screen. They don't care about the whatever it is, right? Let's keep going. Now, they said you forgot to think about PC peripherals. I didn't forget to think about them. You can buy a mouse and a keyboard for $11. Go check the prices. Come back and report to me. Moving on. In addition, all your other comparisons are questionable. $180 for PlayStation Plus? Yes. Your thinking is questionable. Do you even pay for PlayStation Plus? I don't know. You're a PC gamer. I pay for it. I've been paying for it for a minute now. I'm trying to beg all my PlayStation guys, like, if our next Division game is not crossplay, I may not be on PlayStation at that point, but I'm hoping it is so I can still play with them. But I ain't paying this PlayStation Plus thing anymore after this Division 2 life cycle goes away. And then they said how and why specifically. I will just explain to you. So they said a $50 case, $35 RAM, $35 storage, $80 motherboard. Have fun with that for more than 2 years with a 360 game from 2013. My God, you must be trolling. Those of you who want to come to PC, I recommend that you avoid the kind of PC gamer that Burnout is. Burnout does not look at prices before they actually spout nonsense on the internet. So let's go ahead and let's test out Burnout's, whatever the heck he just said. Let's start with a $50 case. If any of you have watched any of these Micro Center builds that these content creators will go out and do, they'll go out and say, oh, look at my Micro Center build. And in that build, they'll basically show you a bunch of cases being sold in Micro Center. I always hold my head and go, man, that's $50. Those cases are quite exotic. But because you don't have a Micro Center, you got to go on Amazon, you got to go on Newegg. And man, if we open up Newegg and start seeing these $50 cases, it's not going to be pretty. I'll let you go do the research for yourself so that you can see if you can actually buy a case for $50. The answer is simple, you can. But the one that I wanted to go ahead and highlight was the RAM one. Ooh, nothing do I hate more than anybody trying to talk about RAM when I have walked the walk of RAM. I have suffered the suffering of RAM. 16 gigs of RAM will take you through, and you can buy 16 gigs of RAM for $35. This is Newegg today. You can buy their Team Group RAM, which is 4.5 star rated, 1,500 ratings. You can go on Amazon. It has 1,800 reviews and is also rated about 4.5 star for $35. If you want the Corsair Vengeance, put $4 more on top of it. Whoop-de-doo. You got yourself the RAM. But if anybody thinks that price and cost is actually equal to quality RAM, then I got a bridge to sell you. We look again at Best Buy. Where do you want to go? You can find RAM for $30-something. You can go with the PNY Accelerate 2 gigs. This is actually decent RAM. So if you pay the $4 extra, there's nothing wrong with that, right? So ladies and gentlemen, this is insane when people will say stuff like this without going to the internet to look at the prices. And we're not even in sale season. Like, this, does that make sense? We're not giving out discounts yet. And then when they said your storage and your motherboard, I looked and said, what else do they want from storage and what do they want from motherboard? Now, this is one of those places where I hate pulling, RAM, because people will say you're bragging. Like, when you talk about these things, you risk looking like you're bragging. But here are my intentions. I want for those who are looking for the opportunity to move from console gaming to PC to do so with freedom, against the grain, and even, basically pushing aside these very, very silly objections that make no sense. So what am I talking about? Storage. That's your hard drive. People still really think that hard drive is one of this huge mystic thing. The last 4 hard drives that I bought from Walmart. I was walking through the store and I found out they had just discounted all these hard drives. I was like, crap, I bought 3. Then the other day, one of my hard drives crashed. I bought this hard drive from B&H, a reputable source. It was a decent brand. It was highly rated, and that crashed on me. I paid good money for that hard drive and it crashed. Right? Yet some of the cheap ones I've bought, they're still running me. So sometimes some PC components just crap out, regardless of how much you pay for them. And then I bought myself one of those WD Blacks at a discount, which is something that is actually a very expensive one. If I told you how much I bought it, you'd be upset with me. But that's my experience. Don't run to your Walmart and then, dry up all the stock. An $80 motherboard is fine. Look, oh my gosh. Let me show you the motherboard that's actually powering my 4090. And don't you dare judge me. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Asus TUF B450 Pro Gaming motherboard. This is a $120 motherboard that has been powering my 4090 build. I was using it with my Ryzen 9 3900. I had my 1080 Ti then. I skipped the whole 20 series and I couldn't make up my mind on the 30 series. And so I went straight to the 40 series, and this motherboard is carrying that build. Now, I'm not leveraging all of the little, itsy bitsy upgrades and stuff, but the heck am I going to give somebody $200-$300 for a motherboard? Why would I want to do that when I can actually get me a durable motherboard that's quite affordable? And this person said, good luck with that. For how many years did you say, my guy? You said 2 to 3 years with games from 2013. Yeah, I've been using this motherboard with Unreal Engine 4 and even into Unreal Engine 5. So again, this is all kinds of nonsense. Ladies and gentlemen, I've paid my own, wages in this whole conversation for PC gaming. I've put my money where my mouth is. I've cut my teeth. These devices I've used to actually power my side business at home, and they have worked for me with the effort and the work that I put in to know that you can rigorously run some of these. Now, you could be unlucky. Don't get me wrong. But I do not know where these people are coming from to chime into this conversation without anything to add other than some kind of really elementary, additions that don't really make any sense. And I'm getting to the point where, like I told you guys, I got really heated in the last video, and I don't think it was actually, the best video. That I really got heated in that one. But I gotta say, man, what is the motive of a lot of these folk making these arguments without having looking at the market, without having at least what I think is enough of the experience to be able to make definitive claims, or at least suggest claims that you might be, someone who should be discredited because you said something that they didn't even bother looking up? I don't necessarily think that this is wise. I think what we need to do in today's world is just look at what someone is saying and see if you can actually figure out if it's true or not. And when you come and confront them to cast doubt, bring your evidence so that we can see it. I'm not saying that I'm 100% correct or I've considered everything. I may sound like that, but there are aspects that I probably don't see. But can people please do us the favor in this conversation and bring the evidence to light whenever we start having these conversations? It would be really helpful and help us move forward. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you guys' time and audience. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Peace out.